What's going on, guys? Wei Koh, Jeremiah, and Bandit. And I would normally say Wei from Revolution, or all of us from Revolution, but actually today I'm going to say Wei from Grail Watch, which is a completely different company. And maybe you're wondering what that's all about.
Yeah, when I first heard, we're going to start something new, I was like completely excited. What's Grail Watch, Wei?
Well, it was something that, an idea that Bandit came up with because she's very creative.
Right.
No, seriously, Grail Watch is a company that I'd wanted to start for some time. It's a company about limited edition watches, but really limited edition watches that are at the most ambitious, right? We've seen limited edition culture sort of permeate every category in luxury. We've seen it in streetwear, we've seen it in sneakers, we've certainly seen it in watches, of course. But there is sometimes a perception that limited editions can be a little bit facile,
Yes.
like just a dial color change, for example.
Just to sell more watches.
I guess so, yes, and potentially I might be guilty of that as well, mea culpa, but Grail Watch is meant to be something different. So Grail Watch is meant to have limited edition watches that are really far-reaching. So there's different chapters or themes that we will be creating watches for. And the first chapter or theme is dream collaborations.
Right. What do you mean by that?
Well, I've always liked collaborations, and I think that, I guess when I think about collaborations, I think about music, right?
Okay.
So one of my favorite albums is from 1963, and it's a collaboration between John Coltrane and Johnny Hartman.
Right.
And John Coltrane, by this period in the late 50s and early 60s, was kind of in his most experimental. He was really kind of out there, and people, regarded him as this kind of like extraordinary genius, but very edgy, right?
Yes.
And Johnny Hartman was kind of a crooner who sang standards. He was very safe, I guess. And somehow the combination of these two guys created one of the most intoxicating albums of all time.
Right.
Like, I've never tried heroin, but I always describe it as sonic heroin. Right?
Okay.
You put it on and you just enter this kind of deep fugue state, and you feel just sort of like this awash with tranquility and seduction, right? So I love that album. And then the other album, which I absolutely am crazy for, is from 2004, and it's a collaboration between Jay-Z and Linkin Park.
Oh, I know that one.
Collision
I'm
Course.
a huge fan of Linkin Park. Yeah.
Me too, and I love that album, but I also love the fact that they played a live show, which I think they invited Linkin Park's fans to, and they didn't know what it was going to be. And then you see Jay-Z come out on stage, and it's like, can you imagine if you were in the audience for that historic night? It's just mind-blowing.
Correct.
Absolutely incredible. So I love collaborations, but we've also seen some really extraordinary, far-reaching collaborations in watches as well, Jeremiah. And when I think about collaborations, like great ones, I think of Only Watch.
So do I.
Can you tell me a little bit about some of those?
Well, I can recall one really incredible collaboration between Philippe Starck and Richard Mille in 2007.
Right.
And this was an RM011, but it looked like no other Richard Mille that has come before. It's actually a watch cuff, if I can describe it that way.
Right.
So we know that integrated bracelet watches are, all the rage right now, but this watch, it was a bracelet that's completely fused with the case. So you don't see any line, there's no break.
Seamless.
It's completely seamless, and you wear it like a cuff. There's a locking mechanism. And if you think of Philippe Starck, he's a designer extraordinaire. He was an interior designer, an architect, industrial designer. And then you fuse that, with just the genius of Richard Mille in early 2000s. And in the early 2000s, and how he, just enlarged the appeal of, the luxury sports watch. And he, I would say, is the one that defined the idea of the flex.
Totally.
So, it's incredible.
And could you imagine the ultimate flex would be if you showed up at some party wearing that watch?
Yes, PS unique Richard Mille Philippe Starck. Yeah.
Yes. Well, actually, so if I'm not mistaken, that was like the second collaboration they did, right?
Right.
They did one earlier, which was kind of a long rectangular watch.
Yes,
right?
I think that was in 2005.
Right.
Yeah, so it was kind of like a date wheel.
Yeah.
With an open dial. You could see the movement plates.
Yes.
And there were screws on the bezel which you used as the hour markers.
Absolutely. And when I think about amazing collaborations, I also think about collaborations between independent watchmakers, right? So two of my favorite were for Only Watch. One is the Laurent Ferrier times Uwerk watch that was created for that, which was this beautiful, almost like formed, sort of shaped watch with a beautiful sort of curvature. It's almost like a.
I know you love shaped watches.
It's almost as if Louis Cartier had gotten in touch with Laurent Ferrier and Felix Baumgartner and Martin Fry and created this extraordinary artwork, and it's got the
planetary
with the Maltese cross system as well, which is so cool. And then of course last year's Kari Voutilainen and Denis Flageolet watch for Only Watch, which is just amazing. Just extraordinary, that timepiece.
So was that the thinking to dream collaborations?
Yeah, so
Can we expect something along that line?
I guess it's no mystery that I'm actually wearing the first watch. And it's gonna, I guess we'll show you all the details for it pretty soon.